Donald and the Fish That Walked by Edward R. Ricciuti. Pictures by Sid Hoff. Are you ready? Here we go. Okay. Donald's dog was barking outside the house. If Sam is barking at that cat again, thought Donald, we are both in trouble. He ran out to Sam. Sam was not barking at a cat. He was barking at a fish. It was walking. It was walking across the lawn. Gee whiz, a walking fish? That seems weird. Yow, said Donald. The fish was pink. It had bright eyes. They were like hard, shiny stones. Watch out, Sam, said Donald. That fish might be dangerous. But the fish just kept walking. It walked to a ditch and plopped into the water. Creepy, said Donald. At dinner, Donald said, I saw a fish in our backyard. It was walking. Now, Donald, said his mother, fish do not walk. They swim in water. The next morning, Donald met Lenny and Jonathan. I saw a walking fish, said Donald. Ah, said Jonathan, I bet you saw a frog. I think it was a siren, said Lenny. Don't be dumb, said Donald. Sirens are in police cars. Pfft, that shows how much you know, said Lenny. Some kinds of salamanders are called sirens, he said. They are long and skinny like fish. Oh, said Donald. Those sirens. Everybody knows what they are, but I saw a fish, and it walked, he said. Lenny laughed. And I saw a flying alligator, he said. Come on, guys. He really did see a walking fish. Later, Donald went to the ditch. He put a worm on a fish hook. Sometimes Donald felt sorry for worms, but he had to catch that fish to show Lenny and Jonathan. Hey, I've got something, Donald shouted. He pulled up the pink fish. But it wiggled off the hook back into the water. Phooey, said Donald. That evening, Donald's father said, some strange new fish are living here in South Florida. They are catfish that can walk on land. That is what I saw, said Donald. Poor Donald, said his mother. You really did see a walking fish, and we didn't believe you. The next day, Donald, Lenny, and Jonathan went to the ditch. They saw Mr. Walter. He worked at the laboratory near Donald's house. A fish flopped around in Mr. Walter's net. It was pink. It had bright, shiny eyes. Hey, said Donald, a walking catfish. Right, said Mr. Walter. They are all over the place. Donald poked Lenny in the ribs. Some siren, Donald said. It is no joke, said Mr. Walter. Walking catfish are real pests. We want to get rid of them. They don't belong around here. Don't belong here? Asked Donald. Right, said Mr. Walter. The real home of the walking catfish is far away in Asia. How did they get over here? Asked Jonathan. People brought the catfish here for their fish pools, said Mr. Walter, but the catfish got away. How? Asked Donald. By walking, said Mr. Walter. They just walk from one pond to another. Mr. Walter added, and they breathe air so they can stay out of water for a long time. They lay lots of eggs, too. Soon there may be more walking catfish than any other kind of fish. What's wrong with that? Asked Donald. I caught one. They are fun. Before the catfish came, said Mr. Walter, there was plenty of food for all the fish that lived here. But now the walking catfish are eating all the food. They are crowding out the other fish. If this keeps up, only the catfish will be left, he said. I guess it is better to have lots of fish, said Donald. Not just one kind. You are right, said Mr. Walter. The walking catfish just don't fit in here. Lenny made a face. Whoever brought the catfish here, he said, was dumb. Well, said Mr. Walter, they didn't know the catfish would get away, but bad things can happen when people put animals where they don't belong. The catfish might invade the whole state. Oh dear, that doesn't sound good. But they don't like cold, said Mr. Walter. We hope it gets cold enough to stop them. I still don't believe a fish can walk, said Lenny. Mr. Walter dumped the catfish on the ground. The catfish curved its tail. It pushed against the ground. Then it pulled itself along on its two front fins. It's a super fish, said Donald. It's scary, said Lenny. That night, Donald and his father went out for hamburgers. Donald ate a big one with mustard and a pickle. On the way home, Donald's father stopped the car and looked out the window. I can't believe it, he said. A bunch of catfish were crossing the road. They pushed and wiggled into the grass on the other side of the road. It's the Catfish Invasion, yelled Donald. They are going to take over everything. Calm down, Donald, said his father. But they are crowding out the other fish, said Donald. Soon there will be nothing but walking catfish, he yelled. A long time passed. Donald got used to seeing walking catfish. They were everywhere. Donald was getting tired of catching walking catfish when he went fishing. Yeah, I would too. Then one day his mother said, "Put on some blankets tonight." "Aw, Mom," said Donald, "it's warm outside." "The newspaper says we will have frost tonight," said his mother. "Sometimes it gets cold, even here in South Florida, you know," she said. When night came, Donald could see his breath in the air. The next morning, Donald went outside. He saw someone by the ditch. It was Mr. Walter. He was scooping up fish in his net. The fish were walking catfish, and they were dead. Ooh. "The cold killed lots of walking catfish," said Mr. Walter. "Too bad it won't stay cold long enough to kill them all," he said. "But now we know they won't take over." "Then it's the end of the Catfish Invasion," said Donald. "That's right," said Mr. Walter. "Unless the catfish get used to the cold." The sun began to warm the day. A turtle came out of the water onto a log. A bug swam in the water, and a minnow ate it. Out of the corner of his eye, Donald saw something else. A pink fish with whiskers and bright eyes was sliding down the side of the ditch. Then it disappeared into the water. The end. What was your favorite part of the story? Let me know in the comments below. See you later. Bye.